Hey, this is Chris from Rekkid Talk. Rekkid Talk. We're gonna enter Nick Rudow's contest. Nick has a cool channel, and his theme for this contest is he wants you to talk about covers that are better than the original. This is a great topic because I'm certainly going to mention something where you love the original and you're gonna think I'm crazy. So, covers better than the originals. So you wanted about 5 to 10. I think I'll do right around five. Mention a couple other things along the way that aren't necessarily ones I think are better, but I'll just mention them. So okay, we'll get this out of the way. We know I'm unnaturally attached to Juliana Hatfield's music, so she's done some cover albums. This is one from late 2019. Juliana Hatfield sings "The Police," and the song I'm talking about in particular is "Hole in My Life." I think Juliana is much easier to buy singing about sadness and angst than this guy, Sting. So this was Hole in My Life was on the Police debut album, Outlandos d'Amour. And I certainly like Juliana's version better. I think this is the best song from her covers album. Just to be fair, Roxanne, which is one of my all-time favorite Police songs, which is also on Outlandos d'Amour. I don't like Juliana's cover of Roxanne. It was one of the ones with the drum machine, and generally the ones where she had a real drummer are better. Next, let's talk about Suspicious Minds. And so here we go. We've got some fine young cannibals on IRS Records doing Suspicious Minds. And of course, we know that from the Elvis song, so I'm making the claim that the Fine Young Cannibals did a better version of Suspicious Minds than Elvis did. And then I thought about it. Oh, Elvis probably didn't write the song. I should look up who wrote the song. So I did my Wikipedia research, and of course, Elvis didn't write the song. Some guy named Mark James wrote the song. Mark James actually recorded the song, didn't go anywhere. Elvis recorded it like the next year, and of course, made the song famous. And then Fine Young Cannibals comes along later with their version. Turns out Mark James is actually a pretty notable songwriter, even though I don't think he's much of a singer. I did find Mark James's original version of Suspicious Minds. I'll stick it in the links. And I think Elvis's version is definitely better, so I could have said Elvis's cover of Suspicious Minds is better than the original by Mark James. But then I'm saying Fine Young Cannibals' cover of Elvis's cover of Mark James is better. And while we're talking about Mark James also wrote Hooked on a Feeling, so we can think about, did you like the B.J. Thomas version or the Blue Suede version better? He also wrote Always on My Mind. I think he won a Grammy for it. Willie Nelson versus the Pet Shop Boys. All right, next song. Sublime on CD. We're going to talk about some Scarlet Begonias, so that should make all the Deadheads mad. I'm daring to say that somebody did a Dead song better than the Dead. So, of course, Scarlet Begonias was lyrics by Robert Hunter, music by Jerry Garcia. Studio album-wise, it was on From the Mars Hotel. And I'm sure it's appeared on plenty of their live records as well. I'm certainly not a Grateful Dead completist, but I think this Sublime's version of Scarlet Begonias is just so cool. You got some rapping by Bradley Noel. He's sampling James Brown's funky drummer, so it's pretty cool. I'm going to say I like it better. Next. So when I commented on Nick's channel, I said I might make a list without a Dylan cover, or I might not. Well, I don't have a Dylan cover. I have a Dylan and the Band cover. So Susie and the Banshees did a covers album called Through the Looking Glass, and they did this Wheels on Fire. That was a song that was written by Bob Dylan and Rick Danko. It came out on the Basement tapes. The band put it on their Music from the Big Pink album. I've read that it was also on a Birds album, and according to Wikipedia, apparently Susie Sue from Susie and the Banshees, when she chose the song to do on this covers album, didn't even know it was a Bob Dylan song at the moment she chose it. Apparently, somebody named Julie Driscoll had recorded it in England in the late '60s, and that's the version that Susie knew and loved. So, but I like Susie's version of "This Wheel's on Fire." It was like the first. It was like their lead single from their covers album. And then my last choice here, I'm gonna pick something off Nirvana, Unplugged in New York. Could have picked one of those Meat Puppet songs, but I'm gonna pick the David Bowie song, "The Man Who Sold the World." So I don't have that Bowie album. I think it came out in like 1970. I don't think it was a particularly famous Bowie song at the time. I don't think it was released as a single. Sort of retrospectively considered a great Bowie song. I think part of it is that people, I think, the thing about the Nirvana Unplugged in New York album is I know a lot of people that didn't like Nirvana, so they weren't into grunge music. But they liked this particular album, and it's a good thing that they did make this before Kurt's passing. So there we go. 5 covers, like better than the original. There was a cover of a Bob Dylan song involved. I wonder how many people are going to make a completely Dylan-free list. Or maybe somebody will be really brave and they'll pick one of those songs that Bob Dylan covered of someone else's from that record that nobody likes by Bob Dylan.